Awesome. Thank you so much, Jeanett, for your time to join us in our very first podcast style Red Cup series. I'm so excited.
Thank you, KG. I'm looking forward to this.
Awesome. So, what are we sipping today? Is it tea? Is it
My favorite ginger tea.
ginger tea?
I love
Yes, you've actually introduced me to this. I was also not into ginger tea, and I saw you having it almost every day when we have our meetings, and I asked you out of curiosity, and you told me about the benefits. So yeah, I'm in it as well. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, KG.
I know that your blood is red.
Of course. Hey, it's red. I may be wearing a blue dress, but I tell you, my blood is red.
So you've been in this profession for a very long time, and I know you've given us opportunities to really get to understand your journey and also get to know about some of the wisdom, wise nuggets that you've shared with us. But I want to tap into something, just slightly different, which I'm not sure if you have shared with us before.
Yeah.
Which is really about, getting a wake up call. If there's any moment where you look back and you say, sure, that was a wake up call. Either never again, or that was like a massive, lesson for you in terms of how you do things going forward, how you show up as a leader.
I've had a number of those, KG.
Mhm.
But there's one that actually stands out for me because it sort of combines leadership, leading yourself, your health, your well-being, and being a leader in an organization or in business. And I would call it a wake-up moment in life, although it touches on leadership. I've always been healthy, energetic, and the one moment, without any accident at all, no pain, all of a sudden I ended up with extreme pain and in hospital, and 3 discs had come off from my neck.
Oh my goodness.
And I ended up having to go through a surgery. I couldn't walk to my kitchen.
Sure.
And fast forward, I recovered very, very quickly. And I've been blessed to learn the power of the mind. And in the process, as I was healing, taking the baby steps to heal, guess what? I decided I'm going back to the office. My doctor said, you'd go to back to work in about 3 months. 6 weeks, I went back. Finished the board cycle.
Sure.
And then the pandemic hit South Africa.
Wow.
Guess what? Where your attention goes, you may not realize there's so many benefits. No one said, Jeanett, take ownership to lead the pandemic.
Yeah.
I just assumed the leadership to manage the pandemic. And I started setting up teams and so on. And remember, I'm still walking slowly, taking baby steps to learn.
Yeah.
Through the process, I moved the attention from myself to managing the pandemic, saving lives, ensuring that our organization was able to, be sustainable in a situation where there was so much anxiety. Nobody knew, nobody understood what to be done. And it was an opportunity that gave me a lot of learnings, but they were just flowing. Because, I'm a child of God, hey?
Absolutely.
I believe God prepares me for every opportunity that I get. And I see these opportunities as assignments. I always say corporate is my ministry. As I was doing this, I was able to put together teams from IT, risk management, the procurement, human capital, work with the EXCO. I tell you, I didn't realize I was calling the shots, not from a position of authority. I was also scared like everyone else. I didn't have the answers. But somehow I was able to tap on different people. And the vulnerability that I brought to the party was unbelievable. I didn't realize at that time. And I remember my team was asking me, so Jeanett, what are we doing here? And so on. I broke them into different teams, small teams. And I just started dishing out work, giving some guidance, but they had to go find the solutions. I had to trust my team. You know, it's lessons about trust, lessons about understanding. As a leader, I don't have to have all the answers myself. And I was just vulnerable. And I forgot about focusing on myself. I focused on the organization, focused on other people. And guess what? I healed in the process. I cannot tell you.
Amen.
I ended up jogging and, you know,
Yeah.
and I've forgotten. I no longer have the pain.
Yeah.
And I got the silver lining out of that experience.
Sure. I see that. I mean, I see that in you. That's something that you've introduced when you came into this organization, how you've actually reorganized the teams and how you've kind of pushed this cross-functional ways of working. And it doesn't matter, you know, you've always said it's got nothing to do with your title. There's a job that needs to be done. Let's go for it and let's just do that.
Yeah.
I like that. And I also like what you said about the corporate ministry. I think it's a term that I'm going to steal and I'm going to start using. But the one thing that I'm taking away from your response is really about the vulnerability in leadership, you know, just being comfortable with the fact that you don't have all the answers. And you've got team surrounding yourself with teams that actually know what needs to be done.
Yes. I've said to people, give me one person who was born a CEO. Where have you seen them? They don't exist. They may have inherited a business and then they end up becoming a CEO,
Yeah.
but somewhere they had to learn.